Hello and welcome to all of you. I have a little clip here that I wanted to play for you guys to listen to. This is to do with the minerals for security guarantees between the US and the Democratic Republic of Congo. And these are US officials that are currently in the Democratic of Congo, and they are elaborating and talking of the possibility of striking a deal so that obviously the Congo can receive what it's looking for from the US. And after this, I'll come back with comments, but you listen to this first.
I think the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and others have made it very clear that that would be unacceptable. And as to the mineral rights in the East, you're not going to find Western investment come into that area as long as M23 is in that area, terrorizing the population. So, look, unequivocally, everyone knows that Rwanda is backing M23 as its proxy, and that there are Rwandan defense forces in Congo. Like I said, this has been a paradigm for the last 30 years, and billions of dollars have been spent to bring peace, and it hasn't happened. In the reality, this is more of an economic war than anything else. And hopefully the parties can find a way to come up with a solution. But like I said, the Congolese are asking that their sovereignty be respected. And then obviously the Rwandans are here. But look, every day there are minerals, wood, lumber, and other strategic and critical minerals that go back and forth through the border illegally. So maybe the real idea is finding a way to have that trade more, say, formalized, official. And if you could kind of get that mechanism in place, both countries would not have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars in terms of defense and military action in the region. So you'd save.
Do you know if those M23 rebels are they like controlling any of this? You talk about how it's kind of like a illegal black market thing going on with some of the sale of these items, the lumber, the precious metals. Did the rebels have some of that right now?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a tremendous amount of gold, tantalum, and coltan that are currently being exported to Rwanda. There's a couple mines. I think one of them's called Lulabaya, if I'm correct. That mine's been taken over by the rebels, and like I said, and if the rebels aren't themselves proactively mining it, the people or the local communities that are mining it are basically being charged a surcharge for those minerals to move. But if you look at it, it's been highly documented. A lot of the minerals that are in Congo find their way to Rwanda, and they're smelted there and then they're exported.
So we know that there's some valuable resources there, and we know that what the U.S. wants. What would the DR Congo government get out of this?
Well, I think, look, the reality is you've had China heavily invested in the Congo. I mean, a lot of it's through, and this has happened under the previous administration, but there was a lot of corruption involved in some of these mega deals. And under President Tshisekedi, they've tried to reset some of these deals. Whereby the Chinese have been forced to pay money that was owed to the state. And I think they're trying to diversify their investor base. And of course, the United States and other Western countries are very interested in coming and developing these assets in Congo. So in the Congolese context, diversifying investment, critical and strategic minerals are very important. And I think if they could kind of stabilize the country and, there could be peace with Rwanda, I think you would see a major uptick in investment, and it would be probably to the benefit of both countries. As like
so
I
you're
said,
saying it's not just a transactional deal. You're saying it's you're also talking about how this would be geopolitically strategic for the U.S. and other Western, our allies. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Look, if you look at China. 25 years ago, they were very strong in manufacturing. And as the Chinese started to ramp up manufacturing, they said, hey, if we could get access to these raw materials, we'd have a firm control of the supply chains. And so when the United States looks at, the next 40 or 50 or 100 years of developing its own economy, if you don't have access to those natural resources, those raw elements, you can't really impact manufacturing. So in order for the United States or other Western countries to be effective, they've got to have access to these raw resources, these natural resources. And by having access to those resources, they can then add value to having those minerals developed in the United States, Canada, or other countries. But the reality is China today has a pretty formidable grip on the raw commodity and the manufacturing. So it's almost becoming a monopoly. And a lot of the resources that were obtained were obtained through corruption.
As you listen to this, you begin to understand that the situation, pretty much towards the end, I'm sure you heard it when one of them said that the US, the UK, France would not allow the M23 to advance to Kinshasa. And this tells you how much of a control that the Western world has over Kagame. Because most of what is happening there, as I mentioned in my most of my videos, really, I've been telling you that, and I'm sure you know this as well, just as a reminder that what is happening today in the Republic of Congo, it's not only that, it's not by the initiative of Kagame. Kagame is only a puppet that is being used, and he has been used for the past 30 years. But right now, it's being decided whether or not to discard him. And I believe that he will eventually be discarded because he has expired. As far as things are concerned, this is what it looks like. So now the US and the international community and the EU, they are looking for ways and means in order for them to counteract China in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We will see how those things, how it will unfold because, as I said, since President Sekedi being there, China has been its main partners or ally. But now it has come to light that China has been selling weapons to Kagame. Well, it's business, but the government in the DRC doesn't like that idea, and now it's really diversifying its if you like, investment, and now they want the US to come in. It is that world. So everybody's kind of looking for where the interest lies, and if China can actually have this double, it's not a double standard, but they're doing business, so the DRC needs to do business as well. But we'll see where all of this would lead into. But you should just be aware that there is a meeting between the M23 and delegates from the government in Kinshasa on the 18th of this month. So in a couple of days here, but I'll bring you more information on this. Many thanks for listening. Bye bye.